The minimal phone is kind of the odd thing right now, especially for small creators like me, and it's a very fascinating device to review because it's reminiscent of old devices like the Blackberries that we had in the past. And it's actually trying to be a Blackberry if we have to be really honest, or at least a replacement. Just like Uniars in the past years, but Uniars in particular never kept up with software upgrades, so it's kind of drifting away from the BlackBerry flavor, let's say, and it's moving into other categories as well, such as small phones. But honestly, we are here to talk about the minimal phone. Minimal phone is a great idea on paper, but it's not being executed really well. What I'm talking about specifically is actually the price. We have to be very honest. The minimal company is a little bit too greedy, in my opinion at least. So they had this very neat idea of recreating some flavor of the past and an e-ink display that actually is very productive and can relax your eyes. The keyboard, which could really get some traction, especially with the elderly people, but I think they are just too greedy, and the reason is the price. So right now, if you go on their website, they have this offer where they have a pre-order at 400 USDs, but this also includes a free worldwide shipping by DHL, I will guess, because I have seen on YouTube people receiving it by DHL. The price, it's fine, but if we check the spec of the device, and that's where you cannot justify this price, you just scroll to the specs and check the display. Okay, it's a 4.3 inch 4x3, 600 times 800 pixel, 230 ppi. It's an e-ink display, so we are just expecting black and white. PPA is not really important because you're not going to have this device to consume media and YouTube and stuff like that. Still, this display cannot be that expensive, right? You go to the keyboard, full QWERTY keyboard. They say comfortable typing, tactile feedback, precise typing. I've seen a few videos of older people trying to review the device as it comes out, and I can tell you it doesn't look really that precise or that comfortable, especially if we check some live pictures and we compare it to other devices such as the Key. It kind of looked like cheap plastic, to be honest. I'm not going to, until I have the device on my hands to make a full review, I'm not going to think that this is actually a comfortable experience. That's the keyboard. Then we have the processor. The processor is just fine. You're not going to purchase this device for the processor, right? MediaTek, it's an octa-core. Okay, the GPU is not even that important, so let's skip that. I think we have had better cameras than these like 20 years ago. At this point, you're selling a device at $400 base for the base model, right? Just a moment. Yeah, the base model is $400 and 256 gigs of storage is $500. You're selling the base model at $400, and this is the camera you are actually giving us. So let's say you are actually trying to win over that consumer base from BlackBerry. BlackBerry was never really known for their camera systems, but back then in the days, if you had a passport, you will be able to be at least on some level to take decent pictures for that time at least. But if you are a businessman today that wants phone for productivity, you will need a camera capable of taking those pictures of documents, picture of things that you will need for your work. If you are taking this device, if you are purchasing this device for work. That's why, come on, 16 megapixel. I don't think putting a 50 megapixel camera will be much more expensive. And then you have connectivity. Okay, this is the device that you are not going to use to consume media, frankly, because it's 4x3. YouTube is not optimized for this device. You're basically just using it to scroll, so 4G is surely enough. At least have a model with an option for a 5G connection. I'm sure some people will care about that as well. Then you have the battery, which is another thing that you really could have put much more effort in. I understand that the device is an e-ink display. It's going to last a lot, but this is a lithium polymer battery. The polymer version is actually going to last even less than a traditional, and let's not even talk about the silicon carbon batteries that we have now. You could probably put in this device at least some 5000 milliamps battery and have it last a full week. I don't know how much it lasts right now. You could have a very productive device, but they decided not to. They just gave enough battery performance. But I will go ahead and say that this is the cheapest option that you can go for, and I'm not impressed. Security, okay, they have a fingerprint unlock. I've seen a few videos where people complain that it's actually not even working. I won't comment on that until they probably fix some software issue. Headphone jack, which is actually a very neat thing to do because a lot of people will appreciate it. USB-C, that's fine. Buttons, the rest is kind of standard, and it's running on Android 14, which is nice. If you want to justify the price of such an expensive device, I would say spend some R&D. Then we check, as I said in this photo specifically, thank you to the X person, shout out to him, you can compare directly this device to what it is trying to be, a BlackBerry. And this is a very old BlackBerry in the picture, a rundown unit, and even so, I would say it looks much more better. They went for this half matte, half shiny design, which is not bad by any means. But honestly, I don't know what to say, man. I think this device is trying to be BlackBerry. It's giving us BlackBerry price, but it's not giving us even BlackBerry performance. I mean, this device is selling today for a more expensive price than an old BlackBerry, which is more capable than it. I don't think the minimal company is going the right direction. If I was them, I would much more try to follow the Chinese example. What companies like Xiaomi do, they went for many years on just 5% profit just to get their name out there. We have had for so many years the Pocos, the Realmes, the whatever device budget, flagship killers, whatever they had, prices, the Redmi Note at $200, man, come on. If Xiaomi decides to give us a Redmi Note with an e-ink display and those same specs, $200, are you really going to get the minimal phone over the Redmi Note? So I understand that this is a new company, they had a crowdfund, they really need some, I would say some funds in the beginning to push the company, but they are just being too greedy on the price tag. And a lot of people are trying to review this device as they get it right now. It's really not going to last long. I mean, unless they really decide to invest that cash that they are getting right now into some neat software development and really be consistent in updates, I think this phone is not going to last very long, and not too many people are going to enjoy it. Still a very nice idea, so don't get me wrong, it's not like I don't like it. I used to own a Passport in the past, and it's a device that I really love. But this minimal phone is nothing that can be compared to a BlackBerry. So I really hope they try to up their game and give us something that's really better than this at a better price. So if this device was 250 bucks, I would say yeah, sure, why not? 500? Come on. You can go for a Pixel, you can go for Pocophone, you can go for a lot of devices and honestly be much more content with that. So hey, let me know in the comments what you think about it, and I'll try to review it as soon as I get one, but there you have it.